Former leader of the Citizens Coalition for Change damned his party when he claimed that it was contaminated by Sengezo Chabangu. That is, Nelson Chamisa has issued a statement following elections that were done almost in a similar manner as elections are done in Zimbabwe, condemning the election. He issued it as an individual. The statement is written the office of Chamisa, Nelson Chamisa. It has his phone number, and also he says President Chamisa's statement on Tanzania and elections in SADC. But before I read it for you, let me greet you and welcome you to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So as soon as I have read this statement, I will post it on my page, that is Hlonipani Global News, so that you can read it on your own. It says the topic is democracy under siege in Africa. That is what how Nelson Chamisa characterizes democracy in Africa. It has points, so I'll read one, two. It's written point one. President Chamisa notes with deep disdain the alarming developments, events, and violence in Tanzania and condemns the discredited and disputed elections marked by violence and exploitative irregularities. Two, President Chamisa expresses concern over the excessive use of force against the citizens, the violence, human rights abuses, internet shutdowns, as well as the killings, fatalities, and injuries perpetrated on innocent citizens. Three, President Chamisa condemns electoral irregularities and manipulation that began with the elimination, incarceration, and disqualification of genuine and credible opposition figures, and is alarmed by reports of abduction, forced disappearances, and violence against civic society. And then four, President Chamisa is deeply concerned about the increase of incidents of discredited, controversial, and disputed elections across the African continent, particularly of late in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Tanzania, in electoral processes, as well as a growing and disturbing phenomenon in SADC. Five, these manipulations include internet shutdown, disqualification of candidates, withholding of ballots, tampering with voter rolls, yes, intimidation of voters, harassment of opposition, coverage, the abuse of state resources to influence electoral outcomes, use of force, state capture, capture of electoral management bodies, and the weaponization of the state. Six, President Chamisa is concerned at the ineffectiveness of regional and continental response mechanisms or appeal structures which are supposed to be anchored on the responsibility to protect principle and the ability to provide effective permanent solutions in circumstances of disputed national processes and elections. Seven, the African continent in general, SADC in particular, faces serious escalation in military coups, disputed elections, and the unwillingness to resolve disputes. Eight, while acknowledging the objective and constructive SEOM report and the notable observations and deficits highlighted by SADC Electoral Observer Mission, it remains imperative to further strengthen institutions, mechanisms, and laws that serve as avenues of appeal to address and enhance electoral processes and to ensure the execution and implementation of the recommendations kind to resolve electoral issues. Number 9, the effectiveness of the regional body has been brought under the spotlight and found wanting. The previous chair, Zimbabwe, was led by Mr. Mnangagwa, who occupied office in a disputed election that has been condemned by SADC itself in its observer mission report. This rendered both him and SADC incapacitated to resolve the same. 10. To further complicate matters, the incumbent chair of the Madagascar coup undermines the capacity of SADC to provide effective solutions and leadership in resolution of the matter affecting the region. 11. Let me do this before I forget. 11. Equally, the African Union has been found wanting by ignoring these ongoing challenges. The AU has been an absent guardian and a missing guard rail. Instead of fulfilling its mandate with and for the African people, it has become a club for the endorsement of illegitimacy, oppression, and African people's marginalization. Call to action. 12. In Tanzania, urge the immediate release of the opposition leader, Tundu Lissu, and all other political prisoners, and stress the need for a political solution to address the problems affecting the citizens of Tanzania. 13. SADC needs to be revamped and reformed to capacitate it to deal with contemporary challenges emerging in the region. 14. There must be a framework and roadmap for resolving disputes in all countries with such challenges, in particular Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Tanzania. This will curb the recurring problems and the vicious cycle of disputed and discredited electoral processes. 15. We call upon the EAC to step forward and provide leadership to resolve the debilitating conflict affecting Tanzania. We further call upon the AU to stop and forthwith cease the tradition of rubber stamping and to cease endorsing a new Africa in our lifetime. We will make it possible. God bless Africa. So this is the statement of Nelson Chamisa condemning the elections that transpired. I saw comments. I'm interested to read these comments. Even General Chwenga condemns the Tanzanian elections. Sources are saying he went there to confront Simia to face. Let me see again. To face. The Herald is saying so. How are you tonight? Africa must not tolerate abuse of power. Well, thank you very much. The last comment. I think there is absolutely nothing that has been said by Nelson Chamisa. I'm not his supporter, but when he says something on point, everything that he says, we agree with it. This is what is needed in Africa. I see these days the rise of coup leaders. You know, coups will not take Africa anyway. Coups, it means we are, recycling detectors, because if you take power through the barrel of a gun, do you think that you can actually transfer that power easily to another person? We saw Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa was supposed to share power with other generals, but you see he is refusing even to hand over power to retired General Chwenga. It's a serious squabble in ZANU-PF itself. What happened in Tanzania is disgusting. I saw retired General Chwenga speaking about, he spoke about violence, he spoke against violence, but as he speaks about violence, he's supposed to be specific. He's supposed to be specific. He talked about post-election violence. It can't be called post-election violence. I think it should be characterized as the state machinery killing the people because the people were protesting. The protest did not start post elections. On election day, the protest started to condemn the process itself by the people. Remember, by the way, it is the people who should, at the end of the day, lead. Their voices should be leader of any society. Just imagine this bad president, Samia. She actually killed 800 Tanzanians. 800 Tanzanians. That is a lot. Is a lot. 800 Tanzanians, youths with a potential, elders with a potential, people who wanted to see their country moving towards the path of democracy. I wonder how that woman sleeps. Honestly, I wonder how that woman sleeps. I would never even call her a president. If I say it a president, that woman who actually forced herself to masquerade, she should never be required. I think I'll make a conscious decision. When I talk about her, I'll say Samia Sihulu. That is her, not the president. That is not a presidential material. That woman is misrepresentation of the women of Africa. I'm sure they cannot actually align themselves with a butcher. 800 people. 800 people. Yo, thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we film live, you become the very